What's good, everybody? We are back. It is your boy Jarod and your girl Gabby, episode 94 of the Kicks and Shit Show.
How did we get here, Jay? That's what I want to know.
Well, how did we get here? Every day I wake up and ask myself, how the hell did I wind up tethered to this woman?
My choice. That's how, everyone. My choice.
How are you? Where in the world are you this week? LA. So tell us about LA and what is happening on the left coast. Heat wave.
Well, spoiler alert, heat wave. Thanks, Jay. My favorite season is bike short season. So even though I'm not really outside that much, I got a little bit of a glow from like the 20 minutes I got walking down the block to get some food yesterday. It is 97 degrees at the beginning of April. In LA. This is a life I'm not used to, you guys. Like, I love California. Yeah. I'm adjusting to this bi-coastal living.
California dreaming.
Always California dreaming. But it's like, I'm not prepared for this. Like, my summer body ain't ready. Like, I gotta stay ready so I don't have to get ready. That's going to be my, 2022 vibes. Now I understand why people say that. It's people in Miami and California and Southern California that say that. Every season is bathing suit season, which is my nightmare.
Or people say that so they don't find themselves on the wrong end of getting sucker punched, right? Like, again, don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
I mean, when you have borderline snowy weather before you come out here in New York, and then 97 does sucker punch you a little bit when you're not prepared for it. But yeah, I mean, I love it out here. It's like a nice vibe. It's a nice change of pace. I'm learning the sneaker scene out here as well, which, me, I love the nuances of sneaker culture in different cities, different vibes. Yeah. And
there's different vibes within LA, right? Because LA is such a massive place, right? I mean, you have the larger Los Angeles County, which a million places make up Los Angeles County, right? Like LA proper, right?
Like a quarter of America, basically.
Then it's like Thousand Oaks and this place and that place. There's a million, right? Like a million places make up Los Angeles County. So it's pretty big area.
It's a big area. I'm still learning and exploring. I think Little Tokyo for me is like one of those underrated neighborhoods. At least I don't know anyone that talks about it. Anytime I tell anyone I'm here, they're like, "Ooh, I'd love to come do dinner by you," which normally I don't get that, so very excited about that. But there's a ton of great sneaker stores right here. Jason Mark flagship is down the block, which is very beautiful when I need to get my sneakers cleaned from that LA Vegas dustiness that seeps into the suede. So I've learned even stuff like that. But I don't know, it's a good vibe. How's things in New York streets, Jay?
Raining. It's been an awfully rainy whole day.
And this is why I'm in LA half of my time, ladies.
Listen, I cannot blame you for that. Speaking of LA, and I'll get back to me in a second. If you watched the show California Dreams on NBC when you were a kid, part of that Saturday morning block with Saved by the Bell and some other stuff.
Step by Step. I'm a white girl from Jersey. Of course, I watch that shit. Come on.
In California Dreams. Oh man.
What a show, man.
What a show, what a time. Otherwise, it is your boys getting ready for the playoffs. We got, the regular season ends on Sunday. So when this comes out, regular season will already have ended. We'll be playing tournament by the time you guys are hearing this. And then this coming Saturday will be playoffs begin. So it's exciting times out here in these streets. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to go to Memphis for round one of the Grizzlies. Shout out to my Grizzly Cubs doing their thing down in Memphis. My buddy Dexter, who it's like, "Oh, Gerard, you're gonna be on Beale Street," and he did if Beale Street could talk. I was like, I see what you did there. But I'll see if I can get down there, cover a couple of those first two games. See what the vibe is in Memphis. They're really digging this team. It's it's a good time. Good time in the NBA.
It's a good time in the NBA unless you're a Knicks fan. Last home game for Knicks is on Sunday, prior to when this episode comes out, which, I will not have any thoughts on that, but still a loyal Knicks fan always. And the hope is alive, Jay. The hope is always alive.
Is it though? Ride or die. Look, here's the thing,
I am a ride or die.
I thought last season you guys really turned the corner and some positive things were happening. This season, there was a bit of a regression. And, it's funny, I was talking about this, we're not a basketball show, but I was talking about this with Dexter, and I was like, it isn't so much about we got to draft point guards, because that's what so many Knicks fans, we don't have a point guard, that's how we lose games late. And I'm like, that isn't your problem. The problem is because you got talented guys, and the way that the NBA is moving now, we're positionless. It doesn't like no point guard, shooting guard, none of that shit matters. You know what the Knicks are void of right now? Dudes with high basketball IQ. Okay, like they're talented and skilled for sure, but you need to be smart. So when you got a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, and there are matchup advantages in your favor, you work to exploit those constantly until the other team figures out a way to stop it. Don't start doing some other shit and like messing up and like, so that's really their problem. I just feel like, and I love RJ. I think he's really good, super talented. The IQ part of the game hasn't caught up as quickly, right? I mean, there are parts of the game, some games recently where I'm just like, oh, I wouldn't have done that right there. You probably should have done, right? It's just like these little nuances that take some time to learn. So, hopefully the Knicks over the next, this summer with the draft and with free agency and whatever, again, they get more talented, skilled guys, but they also get high IQ, continue to draft guys who just understand the game and who know, because it's not about like, we need a point guard. It's like, no, just figure out, just do smart shit, right? Like, do smart things and play the game smartly,
No, I agree. And I think, with D Rose being hurt a good portion of this season too, like he's someone that kind of brings in that mentorship, especially like, and the experience. So I think like we really felt the fact that he wasn't a presence or able to be a presence this season in the way that like he helped guide us and lead us along with Julius Randle before the fans kicked in to the promised land of the playoffs. Yeah,
indeed.
But I got to ask you though, Jay. Are you going to do some sneaker shopping in Memphis?
It's funny that you mentioned that. I'm definitely going to check out the Memphis sneaker culture, see what's happening down there, check out a couple spots, reach out to some folks that I know, be like, all right, show me some sneaker spots. So we might have a Feats in the Streets segment from Memphis. Calm yourself. We'll see. I got to see what's out there, tap in with the people that I know down there and see what's happening. But yeah, I think a Feats in the Street Memphis might be good. It's funny, right? So you're like, let's say you're going to a game, right? And most people, it's like whatever, they got their fit. Like if I'm in media row, like I'm not really like fitted out. Like I mean, I'm gonna wear stuff, but I'm not necessarily thinking about. That's not the first thought in my head. But it's also like, all right, if I'm going to a game and going to Memphis, like what? I have this weird thing about like, do I wear breads to a team that doesn't sport bread colors? Like, it's just kind of weird. Like, I know it's a weird thing I have in my brain.
It's weird at all. I very much appreciate that, actually. I don't think that's weird. I think it's cognizant of the team. It's a respect, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and neutral colors in sneakers doesn't necessarily mean a neutral color depending on what team or opponent you're going to go see, right?
Correct.
Like, say, I mean, this is not necessarily what's happening, but like say Memphis is playing Brooklyn and you're like, I'm going to wear neutral black and white sneakers.
Well, that's not right.
Where Brooklyn at? Right? Like,
exactly.
I think, depending on how things shape up and where the lineups lie, I think like, if a bread is not a colorway of a team, I think that's a classic colorway for sneakers. You cannot go wrong with that. I mean, I went to the first game recently, a couple weeks ago.
Yep, you had the breads on.
Patent breads that got the assist from our man JR at Shoe Plug, right? Like patent breads, like something like that. That's a classic style, a classic colorway.
Never go wrong.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. So I'll see. I mean, right now it looks like Memphis will likely end up playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, but they're still playing games to be played on the Timberwolves end to figure out will they in fact get the 7 seed or will the Clippers possibly get that or who knows. But anyway, that's the situation there. Shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies. Gabby, speaking of sneakers and shoe plugs and people tapped into the culture, coming up we have a guest who is very tapped into sneaker culture. I believe he's a Midwest guy, if I'm not mistaken. Speaking of breads, he might be from the Windy City. But anyway, stay tuned. We're gonna find out next who that is. What's good, y'all? We are back, and Gabby, we're not alone. We are joined by sneaker collector, content producer, wrestling aficionado, AJ Tai, a.k.a. you people out there on those Instagram streets know him as Tai87Kicks. What's up, my guy? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys.
We appreciate it. So I said this in the last segment before you came on that I might be doing some traveling for the NBA, for playoffs, and I was like, man, do I wear breads in a place where it's a team that's not breads? And I was like, well, we're going to have a guy who's from the bread area now from Chicago So what's
Yep.
up, man? What's going on in the Windy City? How are you feeling about your Bulls first and foremost?
I mean, Windy City's always cold. It's raining. It's been raining the last 2 straight weeks. And we might get some snow today. I don't know. It's just,
Wildin'.
it's one of those, like, in Chicago, you got to wear a hoodie, jeans, shorts, and Timberlands or something because you don't know what's going to happen outside. But for the Bulls, I mean, solid team. I know they fell off a little bit, but I just feel like this is the first year that they came back like super strong with like all these new like superstars. It just like anything, chemistry needs to build. They have it there. I think they just needed this season to get over whatever hump they're going to have, and then from there, yeah.
I like it. I kind of feel bad for them. I wish that the Lonzo Ball thing really hurts because when you guys put Lonzo and Caruso out there, like, oh man, that is a torture chamber for opposing offenses. They are so good at point of attack. And Lonzo's so good at hitting the head and obviously can knock down an open three, good playmaker, push the pace. Like that Bulls team, listen, for a long time, like you guys were at top of the Eastern Conference. But, I see good things ahead in the future. All right, man. People are watching this right now. We're on video. Those of you who are listening to the podcast, you can't see. But AJ's clearly in his sneaker room, and there's just clear drop top front boxes all over the place. The man's been collecting for 25 years. Yeah, there's like a billion sneakers back there. So I got to ask you, man, when did you fall in love with sneakers?
It started I'm 35. I just turned 35 in February. I've been collecting. It's been about 25 years. And it's not like I've just been collecting I've been in love with the culture, right? Because the culture is more than just sneakers. I look at it as music, fashion, art, sneakers. They're all sports. They all go together. And for me, what got me into it is growing up, we grew up not as blessed as certain people, like we had. So when you grow up, you're humbled, right? So when you could only have, like when you grew up single mom, and she would get us whatever we wanted, but it would be like more like, okay, we can get this pair of sneakers, and you get whatever. And me and my younger brother Ali, who is another big into the sneakers, it was more like, all right, cool, we like this. But now when you get to the point where you can afford it, any shoe you want, and certain companies blessing me with shoes, it's game over. But it's one of those, like, it's the art of the hunt, because now I'm going back to what I couldn't afford and getting what I can now.
Yeah, I like that, man. So what was that first pair that, like, when you were younger, couldn't afford that, but the minute you could, you got?
The Chicago ones and the bread ones, because back then, I mean, you were able to get them, because I don't know, a lot of people don't realize, but before, when they were originally came out, they were like the $90 and the $64 and whatever. Back in like 2001 and stuff, they were $120, and then you can literally walk into Finish Line, Foot Locker, Champs, and they were sitting there. But at that point, we really couldn't. I mean, we could somewhat at that point, but it was just like, man, I need these shoes, because being from Chicago, watching MJ and the Bulls and the black and red, that a lot of my shoes are black and red. It's just that color. Even though Chicago colors are not black and red, it's the baby blue, white, and red. But it wound up happening. So the Chicago ones and the bread ones were the shoe I needed.
That's in that DNA. And I like that you talk about how sneakers used to sit on shelves, because I feel like a grandma, when I say that to people, it's like the Gilded Age that we're talking about. Like, you could go in and you could get your size, or, if you didn't get it on the raffle day, people would return it instead of reselling it if it didn't fit or something like that. And I also love that you talk about the art of the hunt. I think that's something, like, I'd love to know a little bit more about that, and like, what is the craziest story that you've had to get a pair of sneakers?
Yeah, so for me, when I say art of the hunt, right, even now, till this day, I'm always looking. I'm on eBay. I'm on, literally, I think we talked about this, like, I've been on eBay since 2005.
Gabby likes that.
I love that. I'm like, great. I think I might be by a year, but I'm a little older. So it's
it was like early 2005 is when, I jumped on eBay, And it was always like, man, what can I find? You know, like what, put in these weird search and I'll just find a shoe that I'm just like, oh my God, I need these. So even till this day, every night, and you could ask my wife, I'm in bed or I'm sitting there, I need an hour of just searching eBay. Because for me, it's like I'll go back and I'll search like 2005 dunk lows. And 2005 for dunks were amazing. You know, like I used to go to Journeys, I used to go to PacSun, all these stores that used to carry dunks, and now those dunks are like, and resellers are going to sell them for $300-400. I'm like, man, I paid like $45 for these in Journeys. And luckily, actually, even last night I hit, on some shoes on eBay. I found some dunks from 2007 and it's all about color for me. I love it. I love meaning behind the shoe, but before 2007 or 2008, it was the colorway of the shoe, but people didn't realize Nike used to put, meaning behind that colorway. Like one of my favorite ones that I got off eBay was the Milli Vanillis. People didn't realize, they're like, why are the laces like this? Like that was for their dreads. They had the music note on it and everything. So like, stuff like that. That was for me. And yeah, it's just a little bit of story and detail. And the craziest shoe for me to find is, and this is before the prices got it, I wanted a pair of 85 breads. I looked and looked and looked, and I originally had a pair. And I still have my original pair sitting on the other side over there in the case, but I wanted to buy another pair because I always like to, if I love the shoe, I want to have two pairs, regardless of whatever. I got lucky at 85. This is before the hype got it. I think I got it for like 600, if that. And back then, 600 was a lot of money for me. I was just like, oh my God. But I was save, and then, and now to find a pair of, you can't even get the 2016 breads for $600.
No, you can get that on like Sotheby's. That's where you get the
Sotheby's.
Like
Christie's elite auction houses.
No, but eBay needs to sponsor me as much money as I've been with them and stuff. But I am actually I was a part of their top stars. So I was from what I was told, I was one of the original ones that got put on. So
it's only the original group, man. I get asked about that all the time, about that Top Stars program, by the way.
Yeah.
I am not a member of it, but I have tried. I bought so many sneakers on eBay. If you guys are listening. No, but it's a great program. So that's super dope. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think from them is over 200 pairs that I've easily bought. And it's like random like stuff like
you can get inventory at retail. It's like
no, I'm talking about just in general with eBay, like what I bought. Yeah, but the Top Star, I think it's only since we started, it's only been 3 times they've done it. So for what so
yeah, it's one of those things that's like an urban legend, but like proof here, y'all, it exists.
How have you seen the sneaker game in terms of like copying evolve over the last 25 years? Because you've been in it from different inflection points, right? Like to your point where I can go in the store, Finish Line, Foot Locker, Chance, whatever, grab whatever I want the shelf. Now that's not a thing. I mean, although shout out to our good friend Waz, who always says, if you really love sneakers, you can go into any sneaker store and find something that you like. That part is true. Yeah. Now, are you going to find bread? No, you're not going to find those things. No. But you're going to find something you like. But what have you seen in terms of the evolution of sneaker collecting over the last 25 years?
So for me, what the craziest thing I've seen change is social media, right? Going to Sneakers app and Instagram and this and that. Back when I was doing it, when we started, it was Nike Talk. It was Soul Collector. It was Sneaker Files. It was stuff like that we wouldn't even know what was coming out until they posted. Now people know, like, hey guys, this is going to be loaded on the back end of this website, and like, how? I wish we had, but see, I do and I don't, because that's what made the sneaker community close back then. And I don't camp out now, but we used to go camp out. And think about camping out in December in Chicago.
Oh, hell no.
For, I don't know if you guys remember those LeBron Chamber of Fears that came out a few years. Like they did the whole thing for all the cities. And the Chicago one was awesome. sat there. Everybody was there, and it was one of those like now. I don't know. I haven't camped outside, but I see like fights and this and that. Back then, it was like,
It's a
hey man, you
different
got to go to
vibe.
the bathroom. They're like, oh, you got to go to the bathroom. All right, cool. We got your spot. Just go run it. And people used to watch out. Hey, I'm gonna go run and get some hot chocolate. You guys want some? And then that's how it was. We got close, and the people that we met, and the one person I met, and I still remember it till that day, is a guy named Chris, and he was talking about opening a store or working for a store, like, that's going to be opening in New York, actually. And I was like, oh, dang, he was telling us about it. It turned out this was the original Chris from Flight Club. So, and this is when, how they say New York comes out? He had his squad out there, but it was like respectful, like he was like, hey, I'm here. I got 10 guys back there. They're not going to cut, but that's what it's crazy. And it wound up being, I don't think he's he's not with them anymore, but to meet one of the OGs, but that's how we found out. It was like Nike Talk. It would be, hey, where do we find this shoe? Check out, Leaders, or check out Uprise in Chicago. That's the only way we found out. But that's the craziest part, like to see. And now people don't even get out of it. They're just, this is what happens. Roll out of bed, sneakers, and then boom.
I don't even roll out of bed. I mean, if I'm popping drops when I'm out West Coast, I'm like 7 a.m., one eye is open, and I'm like, roll the dice, you guys.
And I have such bad luck on the apps. I mean, I still try, but I'm like, for sure I'm blacklisted. I have to be. It has to be.
It's like Da Vinci Code, I feel like, that app.
Yeah.
But you have the relationships with the people that you made, right? And that is what helps you, if you're not, because now you're at a stage where you get seeded a lot of stuff, which is, that's where a lot of collectors get that. But before then, you'd have to reach out to the people you knew. Hey, man, I'm trying to get my hands on this size 11, whatever. Can you hook me up?
And I'm a 10, 10 and a half, so that makes it worse because I feel like everybody and their mother is a 10, 10 and a half. So I was just like, we got 1
10, 10 and a half. Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, we might have a pair. I got you. And, crazy thing is, like, even back then, they'd be like, if they were another story, like the DMP, when the DMP 11s and 6s came out, there was this guy, I'm not going to say his name, but it was Finish Line. And he's like, oh, I got you on a pair. No problem. I'm only going to, you just give me $50 over. That back then, 50 was like, dang. But like now, if you think about it,
shoot, that's a
high five and a handshake.
Yeah, that's just like, all right, here, I would give him $100, but because now, like, the minimum of that is like $1,000. Like, like I said, but you build a relationship back then, and at one point it was like, all right, you know what, I got you. You buy so many from me, I got you. But that's how it was.
I mean, one of the things we always talk about is, I mean, of course, sneakers are a commodity, right? Because they're bought and sold. But they mean such a different thing to people who are part of the culture and who love it in terms of like what it represents, how it makes them feel, a shoe that's made for them, or it's got a particular collaboration with something that they vibe with. How do you feel about the over commodification of it? Because it's always been a commodity, but now it's like, all right, this is legit. Like, people are just wilding out right now.
I just feel like certain shoes are just getting left behind because there's no collab behind it. And to be honest, like, people are always like, oh, I need to go on Sneakers app. If you go on Nike's app, they got some fire stuff sitting over there. Like, one of the craziest, like, it's the Air Max 90 Terrascapes. They look just like, the Off-Whites. Like, I bought 2 pairs because I wound up having a coupon. I got them for $120 a piece, and they were originally like $150 or something. But they're a great shoe. I tried them on. I'm not the one that like, oh my god, because I have the Air Max 90s of of the Off-White. I'm not doing it to copy it. I'm like, but this is the style. What's hot right now? So like, just because it doesn't, I look at it this way. It could be a pair of mids, right? I have a lot of mids in my collection because back in 05, 06, we used to wear mids. That's what we liked. And that's what I wear what I like. I don't care what anybody says. If I like it, I will wear it. But now there's a taboo behind the mids. It's missing one eye hole. I mean, you're talking about 9 versus 8.
Listen,
come on now. It's
people
not that
can't even
crazy.
tell. Stop.
I don't know why people hate on mids so much. I don't know.
I don't know. I honestly feel mids have better colorways.
Absolutely.
And, like, there's a colorway that came out that had 3 different shades of gray on it. and the quality of that suede looked amazing.
Yeah.
Even there was a picture of MJ who had a pair of mids on. They're like, oh no, why is he wearing mids? He owns a damn company. He can wear whatever he wants. He doesn't have to, he doesn't have to keep wearing highs. Like I've seen him in person.
He rocks one lows all the time. Like
he's actually in those one of those the court the ones that he wore for in the documentary. They're not even retros. You know what I'm talking about? I forgot the color.
Say the last dance.
Yeah, he wore those all the time, or he would wear flip flops, or he'd wear dress shoes. He wears heat, but he wears mids. But
that's what was so funny about that picture. Like that picture, I remember. I think I even sent it to you, Jay. That the comments, I think, was my favorite part. And I'm like, if MJ wears it, like, come on, you guys. Like, everybody drop the hate. And then everyone's like, MJ doesn't know how to dress. Why are we taking style tips from him? And I was like, yo, why is everybody hating?
But you're wearing his shoe. But you guys are like fighting over his sneakers. I mean, it's his sneakers. At the end of the day, he has to approve what comes out, what doesn't come out. So, but now, like 2 years ago, when we were talking about this, about the whole, like how the sneaker community is like, the game is like changing. And 2 years ago, I was on another video with another friend, Unbreakable Kicks. I was just like, hey, he's like, what do you see it? I'm like, give it about 2 to 3 years. People are going to go crazy over mids. And he's like, no. You go to every sneaker event right now, on every table, you will see at least 10, 15 mids.
Mm-hmm.
And the mids are selling for $200, $250. I'm like, what happened? I thought nobody wanted mids. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's the part that I don't get is people dog on them, but you can't get them. They are out right away on Sneakers app, all those apps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's buying them.
So, AJ, you do a lot of stuff around the sneaker cons and content production around there and sort of highlighting different things. Once people talked about how that journey began, right? So once people started seeing you as a serious collector, like, was it just as simple as they saw you and said, hey man, we got to get you up here and doing stuff? Like, how did you then turn into someone that champions the culture and helps, uplift some of the smaller cons and different things?
So it was, I started behind the scenes. I was always like helping, friends grow. Like, hey, you need this sneaker, we can talk about it. Let's see, give you the detail. I'm always about the story behind sneakers. I'm one of those guys that can tell you a story behind every sneaker that I have. That's just me.
Okay.
It started 4 or 5 years ago with, I was a part of this brand called Kicks, and they're massive on Instagram. I helped, I was running their operations at that time. And, they hit us up and we're just doing our stuff, videos and, and this page has 1.2 million followers. So people were watching us. It's not like they weren't. And then SneakerCon, I guess, saw me over and over and saw the team. They're like, hey, why don't you guys come out to Cleveland? Just have fun. We did our thing. I guess it's the presence we made, because we weren't there like, oh my God, you're this person. No, we went there, did what we had to do, first of all, we weren't expecting anything out of this. We're just like, oh, they invited us. This is awesome. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the first times, like, and if you haven't been to Cleveland SneakerCon, that line is ridiculous. So for us to be like, oh my God, we don't have to wait in this line anymore. We literally walked to the front. They escorted us in. Hey, enjoy. So we did our thing. After the event was over, they're like, hey man, we love your presence. We love what you do. We would love for you to get on stage. And I'm like, to do what? I wasn't expecting. I was like, to do what? And they're like, hey, why don't you just host our panels? I'm like, okay. Got like a little, breakdown of what they wanted done. Mm-hmm. And, we got to Denver, and from there, it was just history. I revamped their whole sneaker panels, bringing in certain guests that I was cool with were coming in, from the state or from out of the state, flying in influencers. So when I took over, I was bringing in the top influencers at the time. I just felt that that's what the culture needed. Because believe it or not, these sneaker influencers are celebrities to certain people, right? Mm-hmm. People might be like, they're not celebrities, but not to you, but to somebody who watches their videos every single day. Mm-hmm. And if I'm able to bring this person into your city and you can come and say hi to him and shake up with them, that makes it could change anybody's life. Believe it or not, you don't have to be an NBA player or or a rapper or actor. this one person could change it up for that one person.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. Like I started bringing in people from Wild 'N Out. Conceited is one of my great friends. He started coming out. I brought out Tai Young. She used to play in the WNBA. Troy Brown Jr., who's on the Bulls. Like all these people were coming out like as favors. Like, hey, we got you. Let's do this. And we were having fun. And then with eBay, then eBay came along after. I stopped right as eBay came up because my contract was over with them. And then from there, it was just like, at that point, people were just like, I was flying out 3 times, I think 3 times a month. I was in a different state, like 3 events. Mm-hmm. And I was just seeing 100, 200, 300 followers per weekend. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I remember there was something in the Washington, D.C. event, and I jumped 1,000 followers in 8 hours. And I was like, did my thing get hacked or spammed? But it wound up being that one of the guests I had she was a WNBA player. She tagged me, and they saw like what I was wearing. Then they, when they look, they're like, "Oh, I like his page. Let me go follow it." And I was just like, "Oh my god, can I follow you wrong? Why don't you tag me one more time? I'll get it." But then from there, it just kept on, and now I'm at over 65,000, and I just feel like I'm grateful for that because it's all organic. I answer every DM. Every comment, I try to, like there's some people that go into the request and they're like, and even if it's a week later, I'm like, hey, I apologize to them. I'm like, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Like my DMs are going crazy, but that's how it started. It went from there, and then after that, all these other events were like, hey, man, we see what you're doing there. We would love for you to come over. And then I went to sneaker games. I did sneaker games for a while, and then I did sneaker games in New York, New Jersey. That was another massive show, but they're more on they just stick in New York side. That's when I first met Dave East. Awesome guy, and that's how it works. Like when I met Nigel Sylvester and these guys, and I just feel like they get a certain presence off me. I'm not like, hey, you want to follow me? No. And they're like, hey, what's your Instagram? Yeah. Then we start, that's how I build relationships. And the rest is history after that. Then I took over Sneaker Travelers and
AJ, what you're talking about though, and obviously we're a sneaker show, so that's what we talk about, but like that model of what you're talking about, we often talk to people who ask us, oh, we love what you get to do, blah, blah, blah. How do you make it happen? And it's like, so many things in the world are about, you see all these articles on like the internet. It's like how to hack your way to X, Y, and Z. And it's like all these like quick ass shortcuts on how you get to do whatever the thing is. And the reason why you're so successful in what you do is because first, number one, it starts from true love and authenticity. This is who you are as a person, and you'd be doing this if nobody was following you. If you had that's just who you are. So that's number one, and that comes through as you do it, right? And then people saw the genuineness. Yo, man, this guy's dope. And then one thing leads to another, and another, and another, and your passion naturally about it just comes out, and that's how you get the opportunities. And that's what people don't understand. It's a slow build, man. You don't just go, all right, let me do my 5 hacks, and then tomorrow I got 100,000 followers and I'm on all these. It's like, no, man. Like you gotta really be about it if this is what you say.
And it's the long term. Mm-hmm.
No, that's for me. It's just like I look at it this way: if Instagram and social media was to end today, I would still be doing what I'm doing. It's just because of the relationship that I built, because I just don't keep it like, it's one of those, like, I don't just say, hey, I'm just going to talk to you on Instagram. No, these people like actually text me and they call me. And so it's one of those, like, I would still continue my relationship with whoever it is. I'm me on stage, off stage, on the street, in the car. I'm the same guy you'll meet. It's very hard to tick me off. I just tell people, you really have to push my buttons to really get me mad. And, it's just the relationships you build, like we built such a strong team. And even now with all our companies, because, now I'm owners and partners in companies that we're helping the community. So that's what my goal is.
I love that. I know we linked up at SneakerCon in Atlanta. Are you still going to a lot of the different cities, or do you still have a crazy travel schedule now that things are opening up?
I slowed down for a little bit from December till now. I just kind of took a little chill. I've been doing like a bunch of events in Illinois and Chicago and the Midwest have been happening. I've been doing that. I have my first son. He just turned 1 in February. So I want to spend as much as time with him as I can because I was just traveling insane amounts. I would come back, fly back out, the wifey. I told him, like, look, I'm doing this for you guys. At the end of the day, this is for you guys. They're like, but you're having fun. Yeah, but the money's going into your account. So,
still work.
Yeah. No, but see, I slowed down a little bit. It will pick back up again. I know I'm going to be in Denver for SneakerCon. Then I believe LA. They just announced LA will be there. I have an event on the 16th in Chicago that I'm going to be hosting. I've also partnered up with Monster, so I'm going to be bringing Monster Energy to a bunch of these little, like I call them, indie events. So giving these smaller events the big event feel. If I can connect them with my Monster connects with these bigger companies, like they go to these other events and they like it. They're just like, oh my God, we feel the same. So, but yeah, it is picking up. Summer is going to be insane. I know I'm going to Dubai in June.
Okay.
I'll be in Dubai in June. July, I believe, is Australia. But that's not only just sneaker events. There's also wrestling stuff that I'm doing there too. So,
well, and knowing that you're a wrestling fan, we just had WrestleMania.
Yes.
How'd you feel about the main events and everything? I mean, look, I haven't turned on wrestling since God knows how long. I mean, my last probably favorite person I watched on wrestling was like The Rock at like his heyday. Like I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised. Rock, I think Rock's coming back very, very soon.
I love that.
I'm just saying. There's certain people on TV that I think are going to challenge. But WrestleMania was awesome. It was, for people who. It was a long 2 days. It was a Friday where they had the induction of the Hall of Fame, and then they had a lot of these other like Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor and everything on Friday. I have a lot of friends that wrestle for a lot of these events, so I was actually supposed to be there that weekend. It's just, again, I just didn't want to be away from home for so many days because then Monday I have meetings and stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, then I'm going to be have sleep. How can I tell my business partners and stuff? Well, I had fun this weekend, so I can't be in the meeting.
I was at WrestleMania.
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, Cody Rhodes came back. A friend of mine, Trey Miguel, who wrestles for Impact Wrestling, he retained his title. Tasha Steele, who she is the world champion over there, she retained her title. Friend of mine, Chris Bay, who is one of the members of the infamous Bullet Club, they won their match, and I have the world champion Moose, who used to be a former NFL player. It's a blessing to know all these guys because they'll be backstage and like sending me pictures like, oh, look what I got on feet, and it's really cool. So they actually, Impact Wrestling actually brought me out to their Kentucky event. They did like a pay-per-view and stuff, and man, they treat. Like I said, I have friends in WWE and AEW, but Impact just made you feel like family. That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
I've never met these guys. One of the main guys, like Scott D'Amore, came up to me like, "Hey, you good? You want some catering?" I was like, "Can I get a job?" Like, you guys but it's one of those, like, I even tell them, like, I'll work for y'all for free. It's just, I just love, like, it's one of those, I love. If I love something, I want to be a part of it. Yeah. So that's why, working with these wrestlers is a dream come true for me, because now not only am I working with them, they're part of our OMF network, the On My Feet network, which, I'm partners with, but I'm actually also managing them. So I'm their managers, which is a huge thing. Like, who would think, like, oh my God, I used to watch this guy on TV 2-3 years ago. Now he's texting me that he got new sneakers, so.
I love that. And speaking of what you got on your feet, we're going to get to shoe and tell in a moment. But you have a connection to a very interesting store, if you will, online store in Chicago.
It's actually, it's in Orlando.
It was in Orlando. Okay, in Orlando. Yeah. And people have had some issues when they try to get raffles. There's been some things, but talk about your connection to the Trophy Room store.
So the Trophy Room, I've been part of their family for 4 years now since they've opened. I've been probably one of their biggest supporters because not only do I know Marcus Jordan, my brother Ali, who is another big part of the company, is there like left and right. That's how they work, and I'm one of I'm one of those guys that I've been in this company. My brother has been in this world for so long to just give a little input, like, hey, this is doing this is doing that. But it's a blessing to be a part of this, this company, to get seated stuff and to get access to stuff. But people are going to say stuff regardless here. And, for me, it's just like, nobody's ever going to be happy with anything. But, they just reopened. They did a soft opening last week. And now they're, they're open. They actually did a bunch of drops. They actually re-released the trophy room ones to like people who showed up. People waited like 2-3 days in line. I had friends that were out there like, hey, we're out here. Can you make anything happen? I'm like, let me see what I can do. I'm not even there, but okay, let me see what I can do. But I made sure they got taken care of, like to make sure they were in line. Nobody got special treatment. I was just like, hey, man, this guy's been waiting here. Why don't you let him in? A lot of these guys, the guys who mess with me don't even want the shoes. They just want to be in the area. So they just wanted to go take videos and stuff. So for them, if they're like, hey man, we just want to get some footage. All right, cool. You don't have to wait 6-7 hours. I'll get you in. So that's how it was. But it's a blessing. Let's just say that I don't have to worry about any shoes.
I love that. Well, folks, speaking of shoes, coming up next, America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell, presented by Another Lane, the premier digital marketplace for dope kicks. Now, this is a man, Tai87 Kicks, who's been collecting shoes for over 25 years. I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to see some hot fire coming our way. So stay tuned. Peace. What's good, y'all? We are back, and you know what time it is. America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell, presented by AnotherLane.com. Listen, I talk about Chad and Adina all the freaking time on here. Listen, talk about AJ talked about the culture and the people. Like, yo, if you trying to be in the sneaker culture, you got to be down with Chad and Dina Jones. I mean, his name is Sneaker Galactus, for crying out loud. Like, if you don't really know and rock with that dude, I don't know what to tell you. So make sure you guys head over there, anotherlane.com, check it out. Now, AJ, as I said, I'm sure you got heat for us. So the floor is yours, my friend. Show us what you got.
All right, so I want to do something a little different. So I'm going to pull out heat, but I want to show you guys a full collection that not many people have. There's 9 pairs, and I have the full trophy room pair. So I'm going to start off with something that people see. These are the reveals, right? These came out for Brazil. So with this one, there we go.
There you go.
You guys will see it. It has a trophy room. Simple as that. The next pair didn't even drop. These are also a pair of trophy rooms.
Color.
I love it.
Color.
But this never got approved. This had never got approved because it was not anything to do with the trophy room. This is something Jordan Brand just dropped. They never released. They got like the whole trophy room on the inside. So not many people have this. The next one is where people started, with the retros. The Blue Francais, the 16s. You guys probably saw the whole thing with DJ Khaled. So I have a wear pair of everything, and then I got everything that's displayed back there. But there we go. It's a blue shoe. It's literally a blue shoe. It says a trophy room on the side, and then it says Blue Francais for blue. I don't know what that is. But the next one is the 17s.
Yeah, man.
Those are nice. This shoe, if you go into the trophy room store, you'll see this is one of the ones sitting up on the wall. But this is, this
with
is
the
another.
detail on the back of those
the detailing on that is incredible.
Yeah, and then of course it has the shrouds and everything. But this is another one of my favorites. And these next two is where it started. This is the first 2 releases, the 23s. These were numbered as I believe to 5,000. This is number 1890. A great shoe. This was their first drop.
Love this the pattern on that.
Yeah, so this pattern is actually Michael Jordan's signature, if you look really closely.
Yeah.
So this one is very, very special. This was a friends and family. It's only 523 pairs. This is number 4 out of 523.
Wow.
So this was, the leather is amazing on this one.
And the colors.
Now,
1 second before I was going to say, wait. I know Jay said to go through because we got a lot, but That's just beautiful with the 2.
Yep, that's excellent. I love that.
Right there, yeah.
Yep.
So this was released to the public, 5,000 pairs, and this was friends and family for this pair.
I like it.
And I don't think people realize that 5,000 pairs is like nothing. It might sound like a lot.
No, it's not. Yeah,
people who don't know sneakers, but that's like.
Yeah,
I mean that's basically you can't find them anywhere.
Yeah.
5,000 pairs. I mean, it's nothing.
Because even these pairs were for 5,000 pairs, but this is number 99. So they're all numbered. So the next 2 pairs are where the crazy hype started when this shoe dropped. This is the Trophy Room Jordan 5s.
Yep.
We did a whole campaign on this. I actually had these shoes almost 2 months before they dropped. I couldn't post pictures. I couldn't do anything. They were just like, just hold on to them. So we took our pictures and everything and just waited and then dropped them. But this was 7,000 pairs originally. The suede on this is just
man. That is a fire shoe. The colorway,
comes with multiple laces. Orange is another one, but I did the red just to be a little different. Cool thing with this one is it was meant to represent Chicago, and the flag colorway,
light blue color.
Look at the bottom. That's like the floor of the trophy room in Michael Jordan's house, and on the inside is like the cork, champagne and everything. So, great shoe. The next one is what broke. I think I broke the internet with this one. Yeah. This one was the friends and family pair.
Well, Gabby,
523.
So AJ, those are not the trophy room, but that particular colorway of the AJ 5 is Gabby's maybe your favorite shoe or
top the Rachel Bulls. You're thinking of the Toro 4s, but
you're right.
Toro 4s, yeah,
you're right. That's what I'm thinking.
Fire colorway though.
I got that back there too. I actually wore them the other day. You just got to be careful because you never know they're gonna explode or not. But this is 523 pairs. So the way
that is,
you see the back has the Jumpman, one has Nike. So the friends and family pair had the Nike on one and the trophy room on the other. The color combo with the red with the baby blue is just it just hit. And then this shoe when I received it. You knew that you're like, okay, they love me because only Khaled got them, Conceited got them, Jumpman Bostic, who's another great friend of ours, he was blessed with a pair, not a lot. And then when I finally put these on feet, because people were just not wearing them, I wore them in SneakerCon Chicago or I don't know, Montreal, one of those. I wore them somewhere and it just went bananas because they're like, oh my God, somebody's actually wearing these. So that's that.
Well, so before you show the next pair, you wear your shoes, right? I mean, what's the point of having them if you're not going to wear them?
I wear every single pair. That's the thing. Look, sneakers are art, right? You have to look at it this way. If you have art on your wall, at least this art, you can have people see it. You can be like, I have the Mona Lisa in my house. Who the hell's going to know? Because nobody sees it. I can say I have Mona Lisa on my feet. People are going to be like, oh, okay. That's just, but again, there's collectors and then there's resellers and then there's people that just wear their stuff. I know some collectors that only collect PEs and they just don't wear them because that's their thing. It's not anything against them. They wear other Jordans, but their PEs are just their masterpieces.
Yep.
So, yeah, but the last pair for sure broke the internet.
Broke social media, the internet.
Broke everyone. Everyone got mad.
Yeah, and then it's one of those because when they dropped, I you probably saw it, on my Instagram. I said when I'm able to, the first snowfall in Chicago, I'm going to jump in a pair and jump in snow with them. People thought I was BSing.
I love everything about it.
They were mad.
Jarod would never.
Jarod would never, but
the blue laces, the Trophy Room Jordan ones. This is there's 12,000 pairs in this one. This one is number 238. Again, I wear them.
Yep. That's my birthday. You know that, right? 823 right there.
So my birthday. So the cool thing is February. So this dropped February 10th. My birthday is February 10th.
Oh.
So when I received these, I was it was just like, oh my God, you know, it's my birthday, you know,
Greatest
so
birthday gift ever.
yeah. So, and then I was just like, let's just see what happens. Cause, you know, everybody wants to do something for the internet. I jumped in snow. I had Mayor, Fat Joe, all these guys like, bro, what are you doing? I'm like, they're sneakers and they're leather. They'll come off, you know? So, but yeah, this was a shoe that, people loved me and hated me at the same time.
I can see that.
You know, but
it's what it
it's
is.
one of those like, look, it's a sneaker, man. Like, people beef over leather. Come on now. Like there's more stuff out there, but
way
yeah.
more.
So these people ask what means the most to you. All these sneakers mean in general, because it's one, when you grow up can't afford them, you could actually get them now. It's just dear to you, and to be a part of, you know, this company, to know like the design that goes into it, what's the whole, you know, the story, before people knew what the story was. And, you know, when they told me the story, I'm like, how'd you guys come up with this? It's crazy. That's what I like about it.
Yep.
No, listen, that was some serious heat, man. I think. Woo, we gotta get the extinguisher out.
1, 2, 3, the last 5, yeah. The other ones people really don't care about, but again, it's what I like.
Yeah. And that ultimately, that's what it's about. And again, what you're tied at, of course, those sneakers are exclusive and rare and all that, but it's about your brother Ali, his connection to Marcus, like your connection to it's relationship. Like that's why you love it so much.
Yep.
If it was just some random whatever, I'm not saying you wouldn't like it, but you'd be like, all right, like, but it means more because of those connections.
Yeah. I mean, I could have pulled out my Mars Blackman Jordan 1s that not many people know about. That, you know, they came out only in New York, you know, so I got a pair of those. Those are going for $10K, but this is what means the most to me.
That makes total sense. AJ, man, it was a pleasure having you on. Tell the people where they can find you, follow me on Instagram, get at you, all that.
Yeah, so there's a few places you can find me. Well, Tai87 Kicks on Instagram, or pretty much on any platform, is my personal page. You can follow our company On My Feet. It's On My Feet app, and then OMF Network. That's our sneaker network, and maybe we can talk about that another day. I would love for you guys to be on our show. But you know, we're sneaker streaming, so check us out on that. But yeah, you guys can find me everywhere. I'm all over.
He's like, I'm accessible. We appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. And folks, we will be off next week, so you guys enjoy Easter and all that good stuff. Gabby's gonna be doing a lot of traveling. She got Coachella coming up. Listen, she's a busy woman out here in these streets. And I just don't want to talk to y'all. No, I'm just kidding. No.
You need somebody to go with you? I mean, I can get some of my friends to like protect you, you know, like, so we can all just be around with you.
We'll look into it. We'll look into it.
He's in the Coachella streets.
Let's do it.
And folks, we are part of the Count the Things family, as you know. Of course, you can find us with the original Bomb Show, Woke Bros, Crypto Bros, The Winning Time, show recap on HBO about the Lakers dynasty, all that good stuff. And of course, at Kicks and Shit Show on all social media platforms. Until next time, everybody. Peace.